All right. What I got? What I got? So today, what we're doing is learning how to code. I know virtually nothing. I've only been doing this for about a month and a half. So you can learn with me. Today, we're doing the freecodecamp.com. We're on the third or fourth lesson, learning HTML forms by building a registration form, step 41. Okay. To give campers an idea of what to put in their bio, a placeholder attribute is used. The placeholder accepts a text value which is displayed until the user starts typing. Give the text area a placeholder of I like coding on the beach. All right. So we have the text area. We need to do placeholder. I'm gonna try this. Inside the text area, placeholder equals like coding on the beach. 1, 2, 3. Hey, that worked. Okay, so basically put the attribute, yeah, inside the text area, which is inside the parameters elements between these two, and you have placeholder here. All right, on to 42. With form submissions, it is useful and good practice to provide each submittable element with a name attributes. This attribute is used to identify the element in the form submission. Give each submittable element a unique name attribute to your choosing, except for the two radio inputs. Name attribute of your choosing. Okay. Name attribute. Submittable elements. So you have submittable elements, name attributes. So submittable element would be enter your first name. Let's try that. Label into your first name. Let's put it in the label. Name equals your name, first name. All right. Name equals last name. Email. Name equals email. Name equals password. Okay, we're skipping over radio types. Profile picture. All right. Profile picture. Your name equals picture. All right. And then age. Let's do this. Name equals age. I don't know. It wants us to do it about reference. I'm gonna skip that for now. Name equals bio. Let's pass. You should give the input. Okay. So instead of the label, which I put all in, it should be in the inputs. Okay. All right, so let's fix this. Name, first name, cut that, input. Okay. Name, last name, cut that. Okay. Name, password. Name. Okay. Age, same deal. Under the input. Okay, for reference. This is select, not input. For label, bio 2. Text area, I'll put that. All right. Checkbox a name. Checkbox, checkbox, checkbox. So that's the checkbox right there. Inputs. Let's do that. Name equals. Let's do terms. Ah! Okay, so they want a reference to. So I'm gonna do it in the select option. Name equals reference. All right, there we go. So I had to put the name attribute in the inputs, not the labels, which makes sense because I need to label what they're putting in. All right. Step 43, the HTML of the resignation form is finished. Now you have to spruce it up a bit. Start by changing the font to Tahoma and the font size to 16 in the body. All right, so we have the body CSS. Let's go to font Tahoma. And then font size 16 px. Ah, font family. Okay. There we go. Step 44. Center the H1 and P elements and give them a margin of 1 EM auto. Then align their text in the center as well. Okay. Dot H1, comma, P. Then we're going to do text align center. Cool. And then margin 1 EM auto. What does that do? Fuck yeah. Nice. Center the form element by giving it a margin of 0 auto. So you do form margin 0 auto. Then fit the size to the maximum width of 5. So I'm gonna do width of 500 pixels, minimum width, min 300 px. Okay. In between that range, allow. No. In between that range, allow it to have a width of 60 VW view height. What I did with min. Okay, that's what I missed. Max 500 pixels. I'm gonna do width here. 60 VH. And VH is the view height. It's like scaled proportionally to the screen. But when you include the Wix math and Wix min, so if I have an ultra wide screen, it's gonna be within those parameters and takes over from the 60 VH. And with this, I have the width above the width max and width min because I want, it's called CSS cascading style sheets, cascading, cascading, thank you, where top line kind of overrules, or is it the other way around? I don't know. One of those two. I digress. Shit. Ah, max width. Okay. Max width min, which is min width too. And of course, BW, not BH. All right. I will one day become a supporter. I don't know when, but one day. I do love this website. Taught me a lot. Let's go from there. Yes, I do want to help millions of people learn, but not today. Okay, step 46. During development, it is useful to see the field set default borders. However, they make the content appear too separated. Remove the border and add 2 rem of padding only to the top and bottom of each field set. Be sure to remove the padding from the left and right. Okay, so one field set. Move the border. Padding. I don't really know. No border. How to remove that? So look at that a little bit. Padding. We want 2 rem 0. That should be all we need actually, because it kind of goes clockwise. So we have the 2 right here, 0 padding here, 2 rem here, 0 padding here. We could do all 4, like 2 0 2 0, but it's just like unnecessary coding at that point. Right. All right. Border. Let's do 0. What happens if we do 0? Let's try that. Ah, no commas. I'm still trying to learn that. For some reason, some attributes and some elements need commas, others don't. Like hex codes needs the commas, or color coding needs commas, not hex code. All right, cool. Step 47. To give the field set element a bit of separation, select them and give them a border button of 3 solid hex code. Okay. Field set. Give the field set elements. Okay, my concern here is field set elements. That means everything within the field set, but not the field set itself. Interesting. This might be a Chat GPT one. All right, look at this. All right. Let's try this real quick. Yeah, let's try it. Border bottom 3px solid 3b 3b 4f. Ah, okay. Since it was just the bottom, not the entirety of it, we're okay. Cool. Step 48. The border of the last field set element looks a little bit out of place. True. You can select the last element specific typing last of type, PSS pseudoclass, like this. That will select the last P element, create a new selector that targets the last field set element and set its border button to none. Border bottom button. Okay, let me just go back into here. Okay, so I'm in the HTML again. Let's look at it real quick. So you have P, closing P, form. Yeah, so there's no closing P elements. There's a closing P elements all the way up here, right there, actually. Wonder why they made us want to do this P. Let's select the last P element. Fuck it. Just follow P colon last of type. Field set border bottom none. Okay, I'm stupid. There we go. Of course, they didn't give us the answer because they wanted us to do the last field set. Yeah. Step 49. It would be nicer to have the label text appear above the form element. Select all input text area and select elements and make them take up the full width of the parent element. Okay. The input text area, select, make them take up the full width of the parent elements. Select all input text area and select elements and make them take up the full width of their parent elements. All right, well, first off, we can do margin. So 10px 0, 0, 0. Okay. All right. ChatGPT here to come. How do I add a, well, let's say, elements to make them take up the full width of their parent elements? Select all input text area and select elements and make them take up the full width. How do I make an element take up the full width of their parent element? There you go. All right. So often ChatGPT goes too in depth what we need for this. So I'm just gonna kind of highlight some things that need to be addressed. So the full appearance to be essence with 100%. So the bars to render the elements in the width band is available. Full width elements, CSS. That is the title. I want that. All classes. What's that? It actually might be that. That display. Select all input area text elements, make sure the full width. Cool. Try this. Got it. Okay, so when I'm at chat, right there, I just want to make a class for it because we have all the actual elements selected in here. Step 50, for the second field set, you want the input and label text to appear on the same line. Class equals this is for the personal account. For second field set, you want input and label text to appear on the same line. So it's that inline. Okay, class. I always do that. Inline. So I just basically put a class attribute into the inputs on the second field set. Now I'm going to CSS to style that. So do dot inline because we just made that. That's obvious. All right, elements and give them width of unset. This will remove the earlier rule, which sets all the input elements to width 100%. All right, so width unset. Nice. Add some space between the inline elements and the label text by giving a right margin of 0.5 em. Also set all other margins to 0. All right, so we have a class inline, which we want, and the label text. So do we add a label? Let's try that. Label. Given margin. We want margin. EM. Give the right margin. So the right margin is important here. So it goes 0, right, 0, 0. You should give the inline elements a margin top of 0. You know, maybe I do need fucking commas here. Let's take out labels. Let's try that. Okay, so I didn't need commas, nor did I need to put the label in there. That was the issue. All right, cool. Step 53. If you look close enough, you will notice the inline elements are too high in the line. Yeah? Time about this, set the vertical line property to middle. Easy. vertical, align, middle. I spelled it fucking wrong, of course. Vertical. Okay. Step 54, to make the input and text area elements blend in with the background theme, set their background color to this hex, then give them a 1-pick solid border with the color of this. All right. So we want input, text area, just that background color of 0A, 0A23. Okay. Weird color choice. And then want a border, so we do border. We do 1-pix solid 0A, 0A, 23. Okay. Nice. Step 55. Currently, if you type in the input or text area elements, you will not be able to see the text. Also, their height is too small and too small to be easy to use. Fix the settings, the color of FFF, and setting their min height to 2 rem. Okay. Let's do that. Let's do color. Hashtag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Colon. All right. And then min height to 2em. Now, if I remember correctly, 2em basically means taking the width or the height of the text itself. So if I have a 16 font text, it will be like double that or some formula to widen that. But yeah, looks like I jumped it up. Let's test this out. Yeah, cool. All right, very nice. Step 56, you want the select element to remain with a white background, but not if it's not getting the same min height as the input. Hold up. You want the select element to remain with a white background. So, no, this guy here. This guy, select. White background, but now it is not getting the same min height as the input and text area. Move the min height property and the value so that all 3 elements types have the same min height value, and the select element still has a white background. All right, move the min height property and value so the 3 elements have the same min height value. So I'll select input text area. So input text area, I know I have one. Input text area select. All right. So we're gonna do min height 2em. Cut that. Cool. And the select elements still has a white background. No, this won't work. Let's try it. Wait, what the fuck? It worked. Same with white background. Whatever. Step 7. To style the submit button, you can use an attribute selector which selects an element based on the given attribute value. Here's an example: input name equals password. The above selects input elements with a name attribute value for password. Now use the attribute selector to style the submit button with display of block and with a 60. All right. Go back to our index, submits, type submit. Is that what I don't know. I have no idea. Display block with 60%. Duh. Type in value. That's all I could have done. Just a type. All right. We got it. Fucking mint. Step 58. With a display of block, the submit button sits flush against the left edge of the parent. Okay. Use the same technique. Use the same technique used to center the form to center the submit button. Select a form. Where's the form? Copy all this and we'll go from there. This. Well, shit. Nice. Step 59. To make the submit button look more in line with the rest of the form, give it the same height as the other fields, 2 EM. Also, increase the font size to 1.1 REM. Okay. So let's do width, do height up here. 2 EM. Yeah. Okay. Let's do font size. Font size to 1.1 REM. Very nice. Almost complete. Let's go. Step 60. To make the submit button appear more distinct, give it a background color of 3B whatever, and the border color white. So let's do border color first, border color, white, blanco, say background color, we do 3B, 3B, 4F. Nice, just a little lighter. Step 61, lastly, for the submit button, you want to separate it from the field set above and adjust the width to never be below 300 pixels. All right. So min width 300 pixels. Let's do that first. Min width 300 pixels. That's done. All right, scroll down. Cool. Change the margin property to include 1 EM on top and bottom, leaving the right and left margins set to auto. Then set the width as described above. Okay. So we did min width and do margin. Do margin. So they want 1 EM for top and bottom, but not on the side. So we do 1 EM auto, 1 EM auto. Now hold up. All I do is 1 EM and auto. This is kind of whack though, because it's like right in the bottom of the page. Whatever. Step 62. Most browsers inject their own default CSS properties and values for different elements. If you look closely, you might be able to notice the file input is smaller than the other text input elements. By default, a padding of 1 pix 2 pix is given to input elements that you can type in. Using the other attribute vector, style the input of a type of file to be the same padding as the other input elements. Okay, let's go back. We need to do input type equals file. Okay, that's the file. Brackets. They want to padding to be 1 pix, 2 pix. Nice. Step 63. Speaking of padding, the submit button is sitting at the bottom of form elements. Add to EM padding only to the bottom of the form. This is going back to what I just talked about. This is like right fucking here. So form, we'll do padding equals 2EM. On the bottom though. Okay, so this is where you do padding bottom 2EM. There you go. 64. Make the input of the terms. Actually, hold up. Let me go back real quick. Okay, let's investigate. Let's talk about padding, margins, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to do Control Option I and get the inspector page. No, fuck off. And I just want to look for, not that body. Description. iframe. All right, let's open body. How do I like just connect? I just want to look for this stat one piece. Maybe let's go here. Here you go. Let me start over here. Right click this area, go to inspect. There we go. Now that we have everything laid out, holy div. Let's find it. Here we go. Okay. Form, here we go. That's what I wanted. Form. So we're in inspect. You can do Option Command I on your keyboard, or just right click the area you want to inspect and kind of search for it. We found the form right here. I want to go over to, split this up. Let's go over to bottom. Here we go. You have margins, padding, content. So content is the first level of spacing. Padding is in addition to the center content. Border is like the border line for like a cell block in Excel. Margin is the spacing between other elements. So if I had a form and then I had a paragraph underneath it, if I change the padding, it would increase the size of the form block, not the separation between the paragraph falling below the form. So margin is what's between each element. Padding is spacing inside the element block. Hope that makes sense. All right, back to it. Step 64, make the input of the terms and conditions inline by adding the appropriate HTML class. Ooh, baby. Oh, baby. So we have to add a class. Make the input of the terms and conditions. All right, terms and conditions. input. So I know we're in class here. Inline, vector style, CSS. So dot inline. There you go. Inline. Bam. We already have the inline CSS class right in there. So dot inline. Remember there's a dot. It helps identify classes. So we just copied and pasted that picture over there. Nice. Step 65. Lastly, change the text color of the terms and condition link elements to by adding the new selector in the CSS. No, almost done. Last one. Okay. New selector. So term and condition link elements. So link elements. Go there. href. So I want to say we can just do the A. Let's try this. A color hashtag DFDFE2. Maybe. Got it. All right. Just to go over this one real quick. We just wanted the link elements. Since this is the only link here, personally, makes it easy. All we had to do was just select the A element in our CSS, change the color. Simple. Fuck yeah, we did it. All right, tell them tweet about it. Shameless promo, man. That's what we do. All right. Next challenge. Thank you, guys.